Yo guys, it's me Matrix here. I'm bringing you basically a new update into one of the draft leagues I'm doing. So I've started a new draft league. It is showdown based, so there won't be much content to be shared on the channel. Possibly I could do some replays because it is going to be showdown, so I can possibly do some replay analysis of my matches. Depends on what you guys want to know. If you want to see that, let me know. But I still want to just go over the team that's been drafted. So the format is VGC as always, or well, what I'm most accustomed to. But it's VGC national decks, which basically is allowing me to use all the mons from previous generations if I so choose, including megas and even some of the moves that they, even some of the moves that like I think it's leaks or something. I don't know. All I know is I get to play with some new mons. Pretty cool. Play against new mons, and yeah, that's basically it. Um, I was just going to do a quick one and done video on this, and I'm probably still going to just make it quick. Um, so for this new draft league, it is the BPL, the British Pokemon League, kindly invited by the guys over there, Matt, Aaron T, and Crizzle, and all those guys. Um, they've invited me to play in this season. I had to do a qualifier tournament where I got the 4 wins I needed. I didn't play all the matches, but I got like a positive record, which just meant that I was able to join the big dogs up in the Premier Division. So yeah, but we are premiering a brand new draft team with a brand new team logo, commissioned by Meme Based. So here you guys go. You get to see it. So yeah, we are the Welsh Warriors over here in this draft league. A really Welsh logo with Sirfetch'd and his Welsh leek, with a little bit of a daffodil motif in the background, which I find pretty cool. And yeah, so we are the Welsh Warriors. We have also gone and done something even more different, following the footsteps as a really good rival of ours in the BDL, Batista, from Batista Plays Pokemon, or Beastista Plays. Um, we are doing a monotype run. So we've basically gone for a single type, and here you go. This is the team for the BPL draft analysis that I've done. It's not really much. We are mono steel, and I really wanted to be mono steel because I love Empoleon more than anything. It's one of my favorite draft mons, so I wanted to do a team around that. And I thought it'd be really fun to just try it out, in a format that I'm not overly too fussed about, and it could be a lot of fun. So yeah, this is the team that we drafted. Just going over some of the mons I've got and why I picked them. Well, Metagross because it's a steel type, and Polion because it's a steel type, Skarmory because it's a steel type. But no, so the idea and when I drafted this team was I could. I wanted to be able to draft a Mono team that also filled a number of other roles. Unfortunately, one of the biggest downfalls about drafting Mono is your speed. Like, you don't have access to a lot of fast mons. And in fact, I think the fastest mon I have is Togedemaru, it based 96. Outside of that, I have Mega Metagross, which reaches 110. So the team is really slow. So I knew from the get go I'd need a tailwind setter. So we got Skarmory as a tailwind setter. It's the really low tier, like 5 points, and it's a budget Corviknight basically. It is a bit of a slow tailwind setter, so it could potentially take a few. It could die before it sets tailwind, or it's not a very fast one, so I don't get to instantly use it that turn. So I basically get like 3 turns of tailwind rather than the 4. So that's a little bit awkward as well. We got Mega Metagross as our first pick, and Mega Metagross was picked because of just basically for the power. Mega Mawile had already been picked as the first pick, so I decided let's go Mega Metagross, get some power straight off on the bat, because I know this is going to be hard enough as it is. Because we were the last pick, we got a double pick, so I also picked up Heatran. Heatran was, in my opinion, essential for this draft because it's got the Flash Fire ability and allows me to have a defensive fire switching, or so that fire types can't just run through the team. So then we come to the next time we pick, which also Heatran Metagross. They're both bulky. One's incredibly physically offensive, and one's very specially offensive. Plus, in this gen, because we get to use all the legacy moves, or rather the home moves, the ones that they used to have access to, that they don't anymore in Swish. Heatran gets access to stuff like Eruption, which is a base 150 spread move that does more damage based on the HP of the user. We see Torkoal run it a lot in the series, so you guys should be familiar. So yeah, Heatran really strong, Metagross really strong, physical and special. So we come to our second round of double picks, and I was torn between Empoleon, Klefki, and Bronzor. I ended up getting the Empoleon and the Klefki this time round because I felt like Bronzong might be a bit safe. Um, Usually, trick room setters and stuff don't typically go until end of the fourth, start of the fifth round. And I really wanted Empoleon on my team, and I feel like because it's a Nat Dexmon and it's a decent Nat Dexmon, it could end up getting taken a bit too early. And Klefki was absolutely vital. It was my best form of terrain and weather control. Prankster, it's just great, and it's just the only Steel Fairy left. So I really needed the Klefki after Mawile had gone. So that was a no-brainer. So I got the Empoleon. Defiant is really decent on it. I really like the water coverage as well, which a lot of steel types lack the coverage for, especially to hit like ground and fire types, which is the biggest weaknesses of steel types. Obviously, there's fighting as well, but I feel like Metagross and a few others cover for that. It's a lot easier to cover for the fighting type weakness than it is to cover offensively anyway, than it is to cover for fire, ground, and fire. So I did lose the Bronzong to a Snipe, which definitely hurt the draft plan a little bit. It meant that I lose my Levitate and Heat Proof Mon and a really bulky Trick Room setter. So we had to adjust and improvise. So we ended up getting as our next pick the Togedemaru. Oh no, we didn't. I think I got Skarmory next and Klinklang. And the reason for this is that Skarmory, I really wanted that Tailwind setter, a really low tier one as well. Get that 5-pointer on the board. Skarmory is really good. It does have to worry about a few special mons, like special thunderbolts and flamethrowers and stuff like that can do a lot into Skarm. So I do have to be careful. But getting the flying type's really nice. It's not going to have the strongest attack stat, but like it can do stuff like curse, setup, and it can do quite a lot of work that way. And Klinklang I got because of it's one of the 2 steel types remaining that gets access to Trick Room. And after Bronzong going, I didn't really want Klinklang, but it gets terrain removal and it gets the Trick Room for able to set Trick Room. It also can do a lot of setup stuff. Like it can go for like shift gear and gear grinds and stuff like that. But gear grind is a trash move. So and on a mono steel type team, I feel like steel type moves aren't going to be as effective. So, however, it can pair well with Togedemaru to an extent. With Togedemaru having Lightning Rod, so you can do some sort of electric terrain, electric mode there. I got Togedemaru as my next pick, and I paired that one up with Mega Aggron. So I pick Togedemaru next because of its fake out. It's the fastest steel fake out user. There is only 2 fake out users, well, excluding the pre-evolve form, in Berserker and Togedemaru. I did consider Berserker. It is a lower cost than Tog, but in Mono Steel, I don't have a lot of electric resists. So like getting Lightning Rod really just helps to basically protect Empoleon and Skarmory a bit, and also just make electric type moves not as favorable as maybe they want to. Because I feel like a lot of people don't really want to be running Discharge against me, but they might be willing to run like a Thunder Punch or a Thunderbolt or something. So it's just something like that. I can also run other abilities like the Iron Barbs or Sturdy. It's a free focus ash after all. So Togedemaru, really good mod. Gets Nuzzle, gets Iron Head, and Zing Zap. It's I think it's decent. It's not amazing, but I feel like it's better than Berserker. So that's why we ended up getting that. And at this stage, I was considering Corviknight as one of my last mons. So that would have been another uh, mitigation for one of its weaknesses. So yeah, we also get Mega Aggron, and Mega Aggron is bulky as heck. Like I can Mega this if I want to, or I don't need to. So I do get a Steel Rock type in that, but like a Steel type with Filter with its immense 230 defense, I think it is, and a special defense of less good. I can still run like a 252 HP, 252 special defense. You can do Iron Defense Body Press with Aggron, and it's the strongest Body Press user. So and with the fact that I've got Prankster screens as well, like it can be a real menace. It's just really solid bulk. So, and it doesn't really have a quote unquote weakness thanks to the filter ability. The next pickup was the Bronzor. I got Bronzor for another Trick Room mode, just basically to give myself a bit better options for Trick Room, not just being limited to Clink Lang. I wanted to have more options, like I could run Heat Proof or Levitate Bronzor. It also gets access to like skill swap, so I can go like skill swap Levitate onto one of the other mons. Defensively, it's really good. Offensively, it's absolute garbage. Like base 20s in its attack stats, like it does nothing. Like I'll probably run an attack on it, but it will be doing nothing if it comes on the offensive side. So it really has to cause a lot of disruption for the opponent, maybe using stuff like Screech or Metal Sound or whatever it's called. Um, with it, I also got Fortress, and I really like the Fortress pick. It's another Natdex mon that I've never used before, so really cool. Steel and Bug type, only got the Fire type as a weakness, which is really good. I wanted a mon that was not weak to ground or fighting, and I did consider getting Aegislash at one point because of it can be a check for fighting types. But Fortress just is really cool, and I think it could do a lot of work. It's got solid defenses again, like some of the other mons on my team. Special defense not as good, but it does get access to really cool moves like Struggle Bug and Zap Cannon if I really wanted to. So it's not garbage by any means, and I think it's got a lot of unique properties on it and a lot of unique strats that I don't want to go into just yet. You'll have to wait and find out to see that. And lastly, I ended up basically picking up Mega Steelix, and I do at this point have an extra 5 points that I could use, but none of the mons in I think it was C tier really appealed to me. Like there was Corviknight, but I felt like it's just a replica of Skarmory, just better. And I didn't really want to trade Skarmory for anything else in the lowest tier, so I felt like it was a bit of a pointless pick. I'd end up having two mons I'd be like trying to fulfill the same role with, and I want to kind of diversify the roles a bit. Um, I don't want to be having too many of the same role mon on a team that is like a monotype. So they need to have different functions, and I felt like they were too similar. There was Bisharp as an option as well, but Bisharp is just a bit weak to fighting. And because I don't have the strongest Tailwind mode, I've only got one Fake Out user. I felt like Bisharp is only going to be really good into the matchups against Ghost types, which admittedly my team does have a bit of a lack of defensive switchings for. So Ghost is really good into my team. It's good into the Metagross and the Bronzor, and literally everything else is neutral against the Ghost types. So, and it is something I'm aware of. So it is something obviously I'm prepping for when I go into matches. So I did think Bishop had some value there, but ultimately I just was like, you know what? I kind of like the idea of having Mega Steelix slash Mega Steelix in one of the lower tiers. I'll have 5 points left over. It gives me that bit of room to work at the end of the season if I really want to. Mid-season trades if I really want to. Plus, like Mega Steelix, its special defense isn't even that bad. I think it's like just below 90 or maybe an 80. So it's already a huge improvement from the regular Steelix in that regard. It gets access to Sand Force, I think, which is unfortunate because I don't really particularly have a trick, like a way of setting up sand. I do have Sunny Day and Rain Dance, however, on Clefkey. But the Steelix could still be good regardless. It does get sturdy as its ability as normal, or anything like I think Rockhead and off the top, I don't know what else it gets off the top of my head. Sheer Force. So like I do like Steelix. I think it's really good. It's done me well in BPL in BDL so far. So hopefully in the British Pokemon League it does just as good. I do like its underlying synergy of Steelix, in my opinion, is that it's always better in like terrain of some sort, and Klefki does get pranks to terrain, so that is a little hint to a match that I'll be playing in like the next few weeks or so. I probably will be using pranks to terrain at some point, just because it's really good. So we'll see. It also allows me to set a terrain, Misty terrain in this case, and I can basically have Misty Seed on Steelix, boosting my special defense, as well as not being able to be status like burned or frozen or put to sleep. I do have other terrain modes as well. Like there is electric terrain on Klinklang, so that's pretty cool. It's just a little bit slower in setting, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, so this is the Welsh Warriors Monosteel draft, um, all ready for the British Pokemon League. Um, that's my thoughts. I think this video's gone on long enough already. It's already 16 minutes. So yeah, if you guys want to see some post commentaries from some of the matches, just let me know, and I'll see what I can do. Um, for now, that's all I've got, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.